My balcony.
Cool. So we should be live. Let me just go and have a look. Yeah, huge like your balcony.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
It's anything now. I reference it with anything as well now.
Good lad. I want to make sure we're in the right place, but it normally takes a little while to show up. StreamYard's like lightning fast.
Yeah.
There we go. We're on. We're cool. We're looking pretty, looking handsome. I'm gonna love that video. We've got like 1 minute to go until we kind of said we would start. But anyway, I'm going to intro it because I'm super excited to actually jump into this one and have a wicked conversation, a wicked interview with Jack McGinnell, who is the handsome chap sitting to my left-hand side. How's it going, Jack?
It's going good, man. It's going really good. It's out here. Nice sea view in front of me. Can't complain, can we? Both of us.
Let's have a look then. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
I'm just taking my second screen off. There we go.
Have a look where you fit in, just while people kind of get signed on.
Right.
Bit of a space filler.
Charlotte said that she's flying out if I do this, so I'm holding her to it, by the way.
Exactly.
Charlotte Lee, call out right here.
Yeah, so let's add a bit of context. Jack, give us a little bit of context while you're looking out of your at your sea views. Give us a little bit of context of what we're looking at and why it's special and why it's important to everyone else.
Right, so basically, last Friday, I was just completely sick of where I was at, and I was like, okay, I need to make a change, and I'm now in the position financially, especially, to make this change. So I decided, found a beautiful apartment that's about 600 meters from the sea, with a 30 square foot balcony that looks out onto the sea. So I took that on last week, and I moved out on Wednesday. Now I'm in this place.
Where are you? What country are you in?
I'm in Spain. I'm down south in the Costa Blanca, in a place called Alicante.
Nice. Just really to add a bit of context for anybody who's kind of tuning in. So we are 1 minute past 2 where I am, 1 where Jack is. God knows where anybody else is. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, or even if you're watching it in the Facebook group, make sure that you hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification so that you get notified when any new either interviews or training content actually comes out that's really going to help you start and grow your very first or next digital advertising business. So that's really the topic of today. I'm joined, as I said, by Jack McGinnell, who, Jack, how long have we known each other for? How long have we been working together for now?
We've been working together since May, but I think I first seen you around about March, April last year.
Yeah, so we first started working together, roughly about 15 months ago. Is it May, June, July, August, September? 16 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so May of 2019, not May of 2020. Let's talk about your story and your journey. First of all, Jack, how old are you? Because I feel that's quite relevant.
Yeah, so I turned 23 this year.
So you're only 22 now?
23.
You turned 23 this year. You've already turned 23, right? Cool.
Yeah.
So you're only a young lad. Obviously, don't really have a huge amount of experience in, let's be honest, the right lot, other than boxing and fighting in a positive way. Self-defense.
Controlled environment.
Controlled environment, exactly. Responsibly as well. Anyway, we'll go all into that kind of side of your story as well. But just give us a little bit of background on you. So you've just turned 23 this year. Give us a little bit of background of your kind of, just very briefly in terms of your background before you actually discovered me and heard about, what I do with expats and what I teach them. Just give us a little bit of background on you, man. What kind of jobs were you doing before, and how was life? How was it?
It was okay. It wasn't the best. But basically, I left school at a really early age. I didn't really enjoy Spanish school. I didn't enjoy speaking Spanish when I was younger. Left school at about 15, private school in public school in Spain about 15. So it was leaving with absolutely zero education, nothing, no direction in life whatsoever. And in Spain, there's very little jobs. It's like bar work to office work, and that's about it. There's literally like nothing else. So I left school 15, got some private education for about 6 months, didn't really do me anything. Spent a good amount of money on it as well and got me nothing. Moved into bar work, done working in a bar, absolutely boring work, having to deal with drunk people all the time, which is not fun. Done mechanic work for 6 months, didn't enjoy it. Finally actually moved into real estate. Felt like it was what I wanted to do in life. I absolutely loved it, but then every single person that I worked for was absolutely awful to work for, and they thought they owned you. They could pay you less than €1,000 a month, because this is actually what I was earning in the real estate. One company paid me €700 a month, but I had to pay all my self-employment bills, I had to pay my tax, everything. I was walking away with probably €500 a month. Thought I loved that, but then started getting shouted at by the company, the owner. I do one thing wrong, and she actually shouted like right in my face like this, spat on me as well. I actually spat while shouting at me. It was absolutely vile. And then just couldn't do it anymore, so left real estate, started working in a bedroom furniture shop, selling beds there, and that proved to be even worse than the real estate, because they paid me slightly more, but they actually decided that they owned me practically. I actually once asked for to go to a doctor's appointment, and they actually tried to say no to me, and that's really where the end of the relationship came, because I just couldn't believe it that I said I needed to go to a hospital appointment. I had 2 different operations on my wrist because of it as well, and they tried to say no. And it was just crazy. So I was working absolutely dreadful jobs. I had one good job, I'd say, in Spain. I was a paddleboard instructor. I worked on the beach all day. So that was good. The rest were terrible. Pardon?
Well, paddleboard instructing.
Do you know what? Paid better than all of them. Paid better than all of them. Yeah, really? It was about $1,200 a month, but it's still not that much. But it's still more than all of them.
Not what you wanted. That's wicked, man. Cool. Good intro. So you've kind of like, in summary, forgive me for saying, you've bounced around a lot between different things. Why is that? Did you never feel like you had a career, or like, you know, what was the reason for moving around so much? And
I think main thing was leaving school at a very like I left school at 15. Like, wasn't even 16. It was 15 years old when I left school. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I was always like sports, and then education came second and stuff. I didn't want to put myself through like every single day training and going really advanced into sport. I tried it at an early age, and I didn't like it. I used to literally skip some of the training sessions when I was like 14. So I think the main thing is having no direction and bouncing around loads, because just really realizing that I just don't enjoy people telling me what to do and thinking that they can control me because they pay me a wage, and they can control that I can't go to the doctors. That was what really made me start to not enjoy what I was doing.
Massive. So control is obviously, it sounds very important to you. Qualifications. What qualifications have you got, Jack?
I've got 4 GCSEs.
Wow. What grade? Feel free to say I do not feel comfortable answering that live.
No. Look, this makes it even better telling people the grades that I have, because I have zero education and I've managed to make this work. I have nothing from Spanish school. Pardon, what was that?
Yeah, I was just going to say zero education, and then just keep going. Something about Spanish school.
Yeah, so absolutely nothing from Spanish education. I've got zilch. And then the 4 GCSEs I actually have in the UK, I did it privately, had to pay for it as well. I got an A star in Spanish. I got a D in English, because I'd done 6 months of English. Like I learned English when I was in school in England, but I came over to Spain when I was 7 years old. So I stopped learning English pretty much from then. 6 months doing GCSE work, and I got an A star in Spanish, a D in maths, C in English, and I can't remember the fourth one. I think
I've got a massive question to ask you, man. How much did you pay to get those qualifications?
Oh, I think it's about £2,000.
About $2,000. What's that done for you?
Nothing. I've never had to use them, never presented them to anyone.
Nothing. So this is the insane thing, you know, when the word scammer is thrown around when people talk about personal development and education and learning skills and all of this kind of stuff. Yet you spent $2,000 on some qualifications that literally mean nothing. And even with those qualifications, you weren't even able to get any form of job whatsoever, right? Doesn't really make sense. Doesn't add up to me. Anyway, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Let's talk about the massive news. Sure, in your own business, that's wicked. But I kind of want to have a bit of a different flavor today. I want to talk a little bit more about, sure, you're making what's your current income from your business now, and what are you doing in your business? And then I'm going to go down a slightly different rabbit hole after that. So just give us a summary of where you're at in your business, who you're helping, what are you helping them do, and how are you helping them do it?
Right. So I'm working with property investors, property developers, or property sourcers, or separate investment firms in general. And I help them raise finance, help them raise funds, get money into their business to actually fund their projects. So they will have development projects of say £2, £3, £5 million, and they obviously need to find the finance. So they find private lenders who actually want to invest in their developments and their projects, and I'm the person who helps them find the investors to do so.
Awesome, that's massive. And sorry, how many clients are you currently working with now? You've actually recently, I think today, posted a victory post in the Facebook group, haven't you? So just kind of summarize what you said in that victory post to give us a fresh update on kind of where you're at in your journey.
Yeah, so I'm currently on 4 clients and took my 4th one on yesterday. And basically the victory post was just, it was definitely my biggest victory post yet, because I could tell everybody about why I was quiet for the last couple of days, because I've moved into this fantastic place. 4 clients now, and I got my first clients come through my Facebook group, which is obviously what I've been doing with you and in the one-to-one and the advanced training. And it's actually shown me today that I can actually get a client, get them onboarded, and I didn't even send a single message to this guy. He reached out to me. He wanted my 2-step. He wanted something that I was offering, and then we ended up having a chat, and I onboarded him there and then.
Awesome. So how much is that new client worth that you enrolled without sending a single cold outreach message? How much is that client worth to you?
So that's so that's £1,500. Obviously, I'm euros, so it's about €1,700 it's worth, that client.
Yeah, per month.
No, that would be for 2 months. I work with people 2 months at a time.
Cool. So you've got a 2-month offer, enrolled at £1,500. That's wicked. Straight from your group. No direct outreach. No social selling for the landing of that client. Wicked. Awesome, man. Congrats. So in total, what were you sitting at? About 4.5K a month USD. I think we've done that in the end. I think it was 4,750 in the end. So it's just shy of $5,000 a month per month. Nice. Great, man. Congratulations. Now, on these interviews, typically we always talk about your business side of things, like, you know, landing clients, your journey, your trials, your tribulations, all of this stuff. We will touch on that. But I want to celebrate something that's even bigger than what you've kind of just said, and that's the results that you've been getting for your clients. So if anybody, you know, has seen the headline to this video, you'll see that, let's just get Jack to tell us in his own words, but like people are paying you, property investors are paying you to find them investors that have cash to invest in new properties, right? At least that's how I understand how your service offering works. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, cool. So tell us about the results that you've been getting for your clients, because this is
definitely
the biggest results I've seen any of my clients get for their clients. Yeah,
and I'm so happy that we are talking about this, because I really want to clarify it, because it's actually much better than even how it's laid out. So I have one guy I've been working with for 3 months, just retained him. We've got an ongoing contract. It's just literally ongoing until whenever we decide to stop, or obviously you have to give me a month's notice in advance. And basically, and he's on £1,000 a month, actually be a little bit more with him. But we've done 3 months together now. I've booked him, I think it's around about 48 calls with property, with people who are looking to invest in property. And what we've gathered is from half of them, so this is how good it is, from half of them, they have given the budget. And then that's when it's added to, we found more than £2 million in investor finance. That's half the calls. So if we get the other half, the potential to come out from that as well could be even double that. So it could be 4 million plus, but obviously depending on what budget people get. So it's massive. And then obviously there's 2 other clients I've got that we're slow starting at the minute. It took about 3 weeks to get them all set up. So we've just started the first week has started today, and there's another client that I've started with for around about 3 weeks now, and I think we found around about $250,000, but she's just waiting to close most of it now.
So I kind of want to highlight to everybody the actual impact that you're having, not just in your own life and your own business, but your client's life and your client's business. Because we always get caught up in the like, right, cool, he's making 4.5K a month, which is wicked, great, congratulations, living in a nice apartment overlooking the sea, and you've really made your own career and your own life now, which is great. But people typically overlook like the other side of that and what you're actually doing for your clients, which I would argue is even more impactful on the economy, right? On the bloody national economy. If you generating and creating this amount, this volume of investor funding that will potentially go into investment properties, right? That's absolutely massive. You deserve some kind of award for that. I'm going to start making awards and dishing them out to people who deserve it. So amazing.
Honestly, with this client, it's so good. Like setting the system up that I have for him, and actually, I've done a live interview with him in my group, and he'd never said everything to me before, but he was like, he couldn't believe how much I've made him change as well, and his approach to setting his business up. He knows now that he actually has somebody who is actually not just helping him by delivering him calls with investors, but I'm actually sitting there every week speaking with him on how he can improve his follow-ups, his marketing himself, and everything. And it's like to be able to see that I've made, and this is somebody who's double my age. This is somebody who's in their late 40s.
Yeah.
They have kids, they have mortgages, they have everything, and I'm actually doing something where they can see such a value in me. They're happy to pay me £1,000 a month, and as well, I'm helping them change and better themselves as a person. That for me beats any money at all. It makes it worth doing.
Yeah. How does it feel for you every day, waking up, doing what you do? Do you enjoy it? Because there has been times, we're going to talk about the difficult times and the challenges that we've been through, as everybody has who gets anywhere in their own business. Let's talk about them now, actually. What's been the biggest challenge that you've come across? Because I remember probably a month or 2 months ago, you were saying, like, I've had enough. I'm like, it's too hard. It's challenging. I'm going to give up and blah, blah, blah. And obviously I talked you around and we're like, this is what it is, man. This is running a business. So what's been the hardest thing? That was just an insight into like the coaching and relationship me and Jack have had. But what's been the biggest lesson? Maybe it was that, maybe it was something else. What's been the biggest lesson for you on your journey that you could share with other people who are watching on their journey? Let's just go with one. What's the biggest lesson that you can think of now on the spot?
I think learning to actually keep calm in situations rather than panicking. And you've always done that to me. I'm a panicker. I'm somebody that comes, you're like, oh, should I even be doing this? Should I even be doing that? I ask you literally. Yeah. It's like, oh, James, should this angle be okay in my photo? Is this okay angle? And you're like, man, you don't need to worry about stuff like that. Come on. I think just being calm and knowing that there is margin for error. Nothing's going to be perfect. And I think you introducing the slight edge to me completely changed my life, because it really just showed that if you actually just sit there, be calm, repeat your stuff, what you do, be consistent with something, you'll see the results within, if it takes 3 weeks or if it takes 3 months. When you see them results, you're like, oh my God, it's actually worked. Look at it. It worked. James was right again.
Well. You know what it's like, man. You're such a great you're a great student, a great guy to coach, because you literally, sure, you have your strengths and weaknesses like everybody, and again we're going to talk about some more of those in a minute. But you really do put your head down, and you really are like a credit to yourself, and you deserve everything that you've got so far, and everything that you're obviously achieving already. So
Thanks,
let's cast back to 16 months ago. Now, when you were at that point of your life, can you give yourself some advice? Can you give anybody who's watching as well some advice? Sure, we've shared the biggest lesson, and that's arguably self-control, right? In a summary, maybe getting more control over your emotions, and realizing that if something goes wrong temporarily, it's always fixable. There is always a solution, right? So let's talk a little bit of like actionable like advice for people who are watching that, who are maybe going along their journey, and they're like, hey, that's me. Everything goes wrong, and I have to cry, or like something breaks, and it's the worst thing in the world. What would you say to those people to try and help them through that emotional roller coaster that is running your own business and being an entrepreneur?
Best advice I could ever give: get a mentor. Get somebody who's already done it. Get somebody who you can seek to for advice, and literally don't think as, oh, I'm paying somebody this money and, oh, I don't know the result, and thinking of money instead of actual personal growth. Like, you're never going to grow unless you actually have somebody who's been there and done it. Like that to me, like, okay, I'm honestly, me and James did not speak about anything before we jumped on this, but he's helped me so much. And like, I didn't even know what digital marketing was before this. This is like, it's so mad. What the biggest advice I'd give to people is stop thinking about what money you have, and think about what money you can earn by investing in yourself, and by investing in somebody who has a product that can actually make you money. Biggest bit of advice I could give.
This isn't going to turn into a sales pitch for me, but I appreciate your kind words. So biggest lesson. So there's obviously some people, those people who you were kind of sending that message to right there and then. What would you say to those people who are skeptical? Perhaps they've got no experience in business, they've got no qualifications, they've got no degree, they've got no, they're perhaps working a job where they feel like you felt beforehand. Because it is difficult to make a decision, right? To invest in yourself, to do something new, to try something new, to try and learn a skill and fail and do all of the things that are required to get to where you are now. But like, what would you say to those people now if they're still a bit skeptical of whether they could achieve something similar to you? What would you say to them? What's your message?
I'd have to say, just think of the pressure that you'd put on yourself. If you think about it, I love, one of my favorite quotes is "Pressure makes diamonds." And I feel like if you have no pressure and you're sat there laid back, oh, I want to earn money, oh, I want to do this, it's just wanting something. But if you sit there and you go, okay, I've literally just paid X amount to get to the point where I now have tools, you'll make it work. Your motivation changes, the energy levels changes. You wake up, like I used to be somebody who was terrible at waking up early. I can't remember, I think we first spoke this morning, like 7:45 or something. I'm up most days between 7, 8, or at least earliest, like the latest is 9. And I think it's just crazy how much it can actually change.
So how do you motivate yourself to actually do the work then? Because this is a massive topic for most people who are just starting out. It's like, because there's been times, that you've gone through where you haven't been motivated to do the work. So how have you kept yourself motivated for, the last 16 months of working for yourself? What's your secrets? What's your tricks to the trade?
My inner circle, obviously, my inner circle, my outer circle. There's people in the lifestyle marketeer. Like obviously, like I said, I'm not trying to make this a sales pitch, but this is literally how it's worked for me. I'm around so many people in the lifestyle marketeer that even just reach out to me, or I even speak with them. I feel like I've made a lot of friends through this group as well. But yeah. I definitely have to say, having somebody in my life who's very, very close to me, my best friend Danny, he's a business owner as well. He runs his own mechanics, and he just like, we speak to each other, and we have the same difficulties. And he just says to me, you'll get nothing in life unless you get up and you get it yourself. And I think just having one conversation with him a week, my motivation's there. Nice. But obviously mainly the inner circle and the outer circle within the lifestyle marketeer as well.
Yeah, what's that old saying? Your network's your net worth.
Yeah.
Who you hang around with, who you engage with, who you socialize with, who you interact with like every day, that ultimately does, like you've just said, like if you didn't have Danny in your life to motivate you on, to keep you focused at times where you've needed it, like where would you be? But you took responsibility for that, just like you do with everything, which is a massive credit to you. So let's kind of wrap things up and just finish off with like any piece of advice that you've got for people who are already starting their business journey, who not about getting a mentor, right? What's your biggest piece of advice for people who are maybe worried about failing and worried about getting it wrong? Because this is my favorite kind of favorite topic, is like people who are scared of failure and who are worried about that. What would you say to those people now? Now you're kind of along your own journey with failure and with learning lessons.
If you're sat there worried, just get prepared for nothing to change in your life. That's all. That's the biggest thing, because failure is such a scary thing, but when it happens, you realize that you're like, why did I even worry about that? Like, why? Because failure is something that just teaches you lessons in life. And if you don't have no lessons in life, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there watching TV, eating crap, doing nothing, wasting your life away, when you could be failing and just improving yourself every single day. Like a good thing, even away from marketing as well. I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is like submission fighting. I get battered every day, but I'm unreal at it. I'm so good at it. I don't care. I was giving my teacher so much trouble last night. And that's because he's literally made me tap out probably 1,000,000 times. But that's why I'm good at it.
That's why you're good at it. That's that's a great analogy, mate. Yeah. You're not going to get good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu by not getting punched in the face every now and again, right? Or not getting grappled, or whatever goes down in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jack, that's massive. That's really great. Really appreciate your time. Everybody who's watching this now, please do drop us a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on Jack's journey, and obviously commemorate Jack. Give him a congratulations, generating multiple 7 figures for one of his clients in the first 2 or 3 months of investor funding. Huge. And I honestly can't say anything really better than how amazing the job is that you've done for your client. So congrats. Hats off to you. Congrats for everything you've achieved. Enjoy that balcony and sea view, man. You deserve it.
Thank you,
any final words, man, before we sign off?
Yeah, anyone who's looking into this, I mean, even I've had a few people approach me from who's not actually joined the actual program, but feel free to message me. I always reply to anybody who's thinking about this. And yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions, because I had all the same concerns you guys had at the very start, and just look where I'm at now. So any questions, fire away.
Well done. Congrats. Let's not take the spotlight off Jack, because he was inspiration to all, man. Thank you very much for jumping on, sharing your story, inspiring everybody to keep working hard and keep working towards the goal. It's not easy. Doesn't happen overnight, but it absolutely does happen if you persist and stick to it. So everybody for your comments. Remember, head over to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. There's going to be loads more interviews, loads of live free trainings and stuff that I'm also pushing out through there as well. That is very, very relevant to clients of mine already, lifestyle marketeers and non-marketeers alike. I'll drop a link in the comments if you're watching on Facebook. Other than that, thank you very much for your time, Jack. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you on Thursday for another live event, which I'm going to announce shortly. Big one. Cool. Peace out.
See you guys later. Bye bye.